What is Project 2025 and how might it impact your retirement? Well, we're going to explore and provide some insight to this conservative blueprint in our financial freedom video, so stay locked in. Hi, my name is Carson Graves, certified financial planner and president and CEO of the Retirement Education Center.
And my name is Andrea Graves, Director of Operations at the Retirement Education Center. For additional concepts on how to maximize your retirement, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload new videos. We want to welcome you back to our channel. Well, Carson, with every new administration, there are always concerns from one side of the aisle on policy changes. And one of the concerns that was spoken about during the last election was Project 2025. What can you tell us about this?
Well, Andrea, as you know, on our channel, we don't care what side of the aisle people are on. We only focus on what is going to affect their money when they retire. But the simple explanation of Project 2025 is that it is a major initiative being pushed by conservatives that is actually trying to overhaul key aspects of certain government programs. And yes, those programs do include Social Security and Medicare and other government programs as well. But my goal today is to mainly focus on the issues or the initiatives that may affect your retirement dollars. But before we get into that today, there are always two rules to retirement income that we like to give you. And Andrea, what are those two rules?
Well, rule number 1 is to never run out of money, and rule number 2 is to never forget rule number 1.
So let's go ahead and jump into our lesson today to talk about what you might need to be concerned with as it relates to your retirement dollars and Project 2025.
Well, Carson, so many people get concerned when there's a transfer in power in our government because they don't know how either side will govern.
That is absolutely true, Andrea. And that is why we try to educate on this channel and we do not play to the fears like many people in the media might do. So let's just go ahead and transition to our teaching slides to talk about how Project 2025 may ultimately affect your retirement dollars. So let's go ahead and talk about the basics around Project 2025 for those of you who are concerned about these proposals. Now, Project 2025 is pretty much a conservative blueprint for the U.S. federal government that lays out changes from everything with taxes, healthcare, and of course, your retirement safety nets. Now, the goal of Project 2025 is pretty simple. Conservatives really just want to shrink the size of government and also reshape some of the federal programs. And yes, those federal programs do include Social Security and Medicare. Because millions of Americans do rely on Social Security and Medicare, everyone, no matter if you're conservative or if you're liberal, you have to pay very, very close attention to if any of these proposals will actually be put on the table and try to be passed as a bill. Now, as I mentioned, we're not doing this video because we're trying to have any type of political slant, but we're doing this to educate our clients and educate those of you who are watching our channel so that you can make the appropriate changes or plans depending on what the future may hold if any of these particular proposals are passed. So now let me talk about how Project 2025 could affect your retirement plans. First, let's start with Social Security. Now, we know that the Social Security Trust Fund is projected to run out of money in the next 10 to 15 years or so. Now, we know that when it comes to Social Security, it's really the backbone of retirement for millions of Americans. And we also know that this program is facing some major financial challenges. With that being said, without there being any type of reform, it is true that your Social Security benefits could be cut. So what exactly is Project 2025 proposing in this area? A couple of notable things that is being proposed in the Project 2025 is they are looking to gradually raise the retirement age from age 67 to age 69. Now, as we know, the retirement age for Social Security has been raised over the years from 65 at the current full retirement age at 67 now. And so this project is saying that perhaps we will be raising that age to age 69. Another idea that's been kicked around in this proposal is that they may be looking at reducing the benefits for higher earners. This is basically known as a means test. So it could be on the table that someone who's making $400,000 or more, will they have their benefits from Social Security reduced due to the fact that they may not need to be relying on the benefits from Social Security? Or someone who's very wealthy, like Elon Musk or Oprah Winfrey, those type of individuals, do they really need the income from Social Security? So this is another idea that's on the table to help keep this particular program solvent. And another idea that they're looking at that's always been in the conservative wheelhouse is to be privatizing Social Security. Now, we know that this idea was introduced during the George Bush administration to privatize Social Security. But of course, that has also induced some anxiety for many people because we're now putting the safety of Social Security in the hands of those on Wall Street. One thing that could be comforting to those who are either close to retiring or in retirement, many of these proposals or changes that could take place might not affect you right away. So now let's go ahead and move on to another area of Project 2025 that could really affect your retirement, and that is Medicare and healthcare costs. Now, we know healthcare is one of the biggest expenses that you're going to see in retirement. Now, Project 2025 does have some ideas that include some significant changes in Medicare. One of the ideas is similar to that of Social Security, and that's to actually introduce private insurance options to replace or supplement the current program as we know it today. Now, this particular change could definitely mean higher premiums for some retirees. It could also include some reduced benefits, and it can also limit access to certain healthcare services. Now, if this does happen and Medicare becomes less accessible to us and more expensive, we're going to want to plan for higher out of pocket expenses in retirement. And of course, what is that going to lead to? It's going to lead to more of your retirement savings being used towards healthcare expenses. So let's go ahead and continue this conversation as it relates to taxes and your retirement accounts, because as we know, this is also very important. Now, Project 2025, as I mentioned, is a conservative think tank. Now, when it comes to the conservative ideology, as we always know, it's going to be centered around how we can reduce taxes. And sometimes those taxes are going to be more favorable for the wealthy. So, one of the items that's on the table, of course, is to extend the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Now, we know that these tax cuts was implemented in the first Trump administration, and these tax cuts actually benefited both individuals and businesses alike. Now, supporters of those who want to continue to extend the tax cuts are obvious. They believe that these tax cuts, as they have done, would continue to stimulate the economy and allow the U.S. GDP to continue to grow. And of course, there are critics of this proposal because they say these tax cuts cannot be afforded and will continue to contribute to our national debt, which is already trending over $35 trillion. Now, let's talk about income tax rates and what Project 2025 is proposing to do with our income taxes. Now, here they are proposing to simplify the income tax brackets to basically just have two income tax rates of 15% and 30%. Now, currently, as we all know, we have 7 different marginal tax brackets from 10% all the way up to 37%. Now, what they are looking at in Project 2025 is that the 30% tax bracket would not kick in until you actually went past the Social Security wage base, which is currently at 168,600 for 2024. That's going to go up in 2025. But after that amount, you will enter into the marginal tax bracket of 30%. Now, the major concerns around this is that although having two tax rates would definitely simplify our taxes, many people are concerned that eliminating certain deductions and credits would increase taxes on middle income wage earners. So we really do have to study this a bit more to see if this is even going to be something that can even be put on the table. Another area that's going to be interesting to take a look at when it comes to Project 2025 is that they are looking at a substantial cut to taxes on investment income. Now, what Project 2025 is proposing when it comes to reducing the taxes on investment income, they're talking about capital gains and qualified dividends, which are currently taxed at a 20% tax rate. And they're proposing that this would now go down to a 15% tax rate. Another proposal here is that they are planning to eliminate what is known as the net investment income tax. Now, this particular tax is a surcharge basically for individuals who have exceeded a modified adjusted gross income of $200,000 or more, and for married filing joint couples who have exceeded a modified adjusted gross income of $250,000 or more. It is a 3.8% surcharge on investment income to those who actually exceed those levels. And so Project 2025 is offering to eliminate that particular tax. Now, of course, critics are always going to kick this around because they know that this is going to favor many people who have most of their income from investments. And although you have those income levels of $200,000 and $250,000 to be the barrier for when that surcharge comes in, most people are going to realize that when it comes to wealthy individuals, they are the ones that are going to receive the biggest benefit from the reduction in capital gains and the elimination of this 3.8% net investment income tax surcharge.
All right, Carson. So, what's the moral of this video?
Well, Andrea, the moral of this video is that while the future of Social Security, Medicare, and other government programs remain uncertain, the one thing that is clear is that Project 2025 could have major consequences on your retirement dollars. But with the right planning, you can take steps now to ensure that you are prepared for whatever the future holds. And last but certainly not least, always make sure that you're working with a certified financial planner who is educating you and keeping you informed on any new policy changes so that you can implement the proper strategies for your retirement.
After this video, please check out our other videos that will give you tips on how to maximize your retirement. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you have questions,
we have answers. Please note that these videos are created for educational purposes only, and that you should always seek out your own financial advisor, your own tax advisor, and your own attorney regarding your personal situation. Also, if you are looking for an independent fiduciary advisor to help you with these types of complex financial matters, we highly recommend that you utilize the links in our description below and go ahead and schedule a 1-hour free consultation with us today.